of subfolder. In today's session, we are going to study about the microsites and about the when to use root domain. But before starting our today's session, let us start with the previous session. In previous session, we have started with the concept of root domain, subdomain and microsites. Generally, you need to think about the name of domain at the very prior stage, or we can say when you are going to structure or restructure your website. Now, structuring means you are going to create new website, and restructuring means what? You are going to create or update any existing website. Now, the question raised is what? When you are going to upload the content, at that time you are going to use new domain or you are going to update the existing domain. That question raise in your mind and you need to think regarding such. Now, when to use subfolders and when to employ microsites, these all are the questions which raise in your mind when you are going to create any new website or when you are going to update any existing module. Now, individual pages or URL, the URL full form is what? Uniform Resource Locator. Now, individual pages means the pages which are connected with the website or which has been created for the particular website, and you can refer this individual pages with the help of file names. So over here page.html is the file name, and you can use this file name for the storing your web pages in the computers, and you can refer that page that pages or that files after several years. But remember one thing, that this file must be unique. Over here we have taken the example of www.yourdomain.com. Inside that we have created page.html. So individual pages is such which is part of your URL. Now the next is called subfolders. Subfolders means what? When you are going to structure the website, at that time you can use the concept of inheritance, or it can be assigned with the help of search engine. And over here we have taken the example of blog. Blog is the folder we have created inside the yourdomain.com URL, and post 17 is the file name which is located inside the subfolder. Next is called subdomain, fully qualified domain, which is the full form of FQD, and third level domain. So in this we have seen different kinds of levels of domain. From this example, blog.yourdomain.com is the name of your domain, and blog is the subdomain, right? And through which you are able to access. Over here we have seen the example of Google Maps. You can use the concept of subdomain only if you are sure and that you will get a traffic on the website after creating the subdomain. Map.google.com is the another example of subdomain. In this particular example, the top level domain is called .com or TLD. TLD stands for top level domain. So from the .com, that is the domain extension, using top level domain, or we can say first level domain, right? With the help of first level domain, you are able to get that this particular URL or website has been created for what purpose. Say for example, if your website contains domain extension .com, that means your website is registered under the commercial purpose. Similarly, suppose your website contains .edu, that means your website is developed for the educational purpose. Similarly, if your extension extension contains .mil, that means website is developed for the military purpose. So with the help of top level or first level domain, you are easily get that for which purpose your website has been created. Next is called second level domain, which is the name of your domain for which you are going to pay. And the third level domain is what? That is blog in this example. And in another example of Google Maps, maps are the third level domain, which is also referred as a subdomain for a top level domain. And subdomain also refers with the help of www. The full form of www is nothing but World Wide Web. Next is called complete root domain, host domain, pay level domain or second level domain. Now remember one thing, these four are the terms which can be used one by one in each and every place. The root level domain is what? With the help of that you are able to access the pages which has been created for a particular website. It can also be referred with the second level domain. In our case, your domain is called second level domain. You can also use to another term, that is root level or pay level domain, because you need to register your website with the help of pay level domain, or you are giving the payment to the search engine for registering the domain. DNS is nothing but domain name server. Using DNS you are able to register your domain. We have taken three different URL examples which can be breakdown, and you can bifurcate that URL which represents the concept of subfolder, concept of subdomain, as well as domain, as well as pay level domain. So let us begin with the revision again. In this particular example, after www, this all is called pay level domain, which contains co.uk. From that particular first level or top level domain, you are able to get that this particular website is registered under the United Kingdom, right? And the website is working for the commercial purpose. This particular URL contains two subfolders. Inside this subfolder you are having one file or one document through which you can access the particular web page. This is called pay level domain with the including www with the domain name. It is called fully qualified name, and this is called URL of the website. Similarly, this is the second example which represents the fully qualified domain, that is www.seomos.org. This particular website has been working for the organizational purpose. Then you have created folder blog. Inside blog there is one file, whiteboard Friday developing a link hook. So this is the second example which contains single subfolder, and this is the example which represents the subdomain example. Yahoo.client is the subdomain through which you are able to access the shareholder.com, that is the domain, and we have given the payment for shareholder.com. In this particular example, you are having domain, registered domain, as well as you have created management.cfm page directly with the particular domain. So CFM stands for Connectivity Fault Manager, right? That is the full form of CFM extension. So we have taken three different URLs in which one represents single folder, another represents double subfolder, and third represents example of subdomain. See, two questions raised in the mind: when to use a subfolder and when to use sites to promote particular URL through which you are able to get um, good traffic on the website. And in such cases you can use the concept of subdomain. If your marketing team decides to promote URL that is completely unique in the content or the purposes and would like to use a catchy subdomain, to do it using subdomain can be practical. And over here we have taken the example of maps.google.com. That is the example where the marketing team consideration make a subdomain an acceptable choice, because they people know that no other search engine have map facility. Right now it is there, but when Google launched map, at that time the perfection of Google map is more clear than the other search engine. So at that time you can use the concept of subdomain. So this is all about our previous session, and we have taken this image, worst case scenario and best case scenario. See, if your website contains only single page, then avoid using the communication link between, and don't create home page in between the URL as well as the pages. In such cases it is better or advisable to communicate all or attach all the pages with your domain, so that can be easy to access. Yes, if your website contains more than one pages in the first level, at that time like home is there, category is there, then cart is there, then see, when you want to put about us, contact us, such kind of information you want to put, that can be put at this level, right? So in such cases you can create link between those pages. But if your website does not contain any other information, in such cases connect those websites directly to the domain name. Let us start with our today's session. When to use a separate root domain. That means in what cases, in what situations you need to use separate root domain. We are going to discuss the points over here regarding such. See, I am giving you one routine life example, or we can say it is a offline business, right? At that time you are having shop near Kalavar Road. This example we have already taken in our previous video also. That suppose you are having shop at Kalavar Road and you are getting good attention of customers and you are getting good earning from that, right? At that time, see, when you are going to create new URL, or we can say when you are going to create new shop which is located at the Raya circle, which may create confusion in the mind of customers, right? And you need to apply whatever the strategy in the Kalavar Road, that strategy you need to apply at the Raya Road shop, right? So which may create confusion in the mind of customer, as well as you will not get that much traffic which is there in the Kalavar Road. So that is the disadvantage of separating root domain. So remember one thing, that if your website is single, or if your business is a primary, contains primary site, if your product is related with the particular brand, if you are getting good earning from the website, at that time it is not advisable to separate root domain, because the traffic is diverted in both the shop, right? So if you are a single person who is running the business, in such cases don't use the concept of separate domain, because see, you need to apply all the SEO processes in two different domain, so your time, effort, money will increase. So it is not recommended to separate root domain in such cases. Let us read out the points. Whatever the examples we have taken, you can understand that these points through that example. Root domain involves a process of creating new domains which have the same content, same as the root domain. If you have a single or primary site that has earned links, built content, and attracted brand attentions and awareness. It is very rarely advisable to place any new content on the separate domain because you are already earning good income from that particular single website. So it is not advisable to separate root domains in different location, and also it may create confusion in the mind of user which searching for a domain. When user is going to search for a particular domain, and if you are having more than one root domain, in such cases people is confused that which link is correct or whether which link to refer, and naturally traffic is diverted in the both the locations. It requires same SEO process for two different domains, that is one for the root domain and other for the main domain. So when you are going to take a decision regarding separating a root domain, at that time you need to understand the disadvantages of separating root domain, because when you are going to separate root domain, at that time you need to apply SEO process in both the domains. You will get you may not get that much traffic, your traffic is diverted in two different locations. Your users may create confusion while they are going to search for the particular domain, and naturally you need to invest time, money and efforts for separating root domain. Now next topic is called microsites. Again, see, it is a root separating, whether it is a concept of separating root domain or it is a concept of microsites, both are equal. Now see, what is microsites? Suppose I am running one business, whatever the examples we have taken previously, considered the same example, right? Suppose we are having offline business, right? At that time when you are going to own two domains at a time, right? So you need to create new content, you want to design new navigations. At that time you can use the concept of microsite, but naturally when you are going to use the concept of microsite, it is a great risk for SEO, and you will definitely get some disadvantages for the multiple for running the multiple sites. But remember one thing, that when you are going to use the concept of microsites, at that time you are providing new content, new designs and new navigations of your website. What are the benefits of microsites? See, say for example, my one module, let me give one example regarding our college website only. Suppose, see, right now our website is what, mvmcollegerajkot.com, right? So that is the first site which is related with particular domain. What is the name of another site? Say for example, I am going to declare the results on the new locations, right? So that location is called results.mvmcollege.com, right? So results is called new domain, but I am going to provide new content, new designs and navigation system of new domain is different, rather than having on moving on the MVM College Rajkot. For this I want to show you one figure, then we will discuss again. See, say for example, this is the the website of sorry, this is the website of our college, which contains number of pages. Say for example, it contains home page, student detail is there, faculty registration detail is there, or fees module is there, right? But now I am going to add one new module called alumni registration, right? I want to add or I want to create my form for the old students, right? So for that I am going to create microsites. Now what happens, see, the layout and designing of this microsite is totally different. Try to understand the points whatever I am delivering over here. Let us consider example once again. Consider this page as a website of our college. The URL of our website is what? www.mvmcollegerajkot.com. So that is the name of our website. Now what happens? My website contains different types of pages. Say for example, home page, student, faculty, about us, contact us, details, all the pages which are related with our college, it is linked over here, right? Now I am going to apply the concept of microsites, right? So what happens now? Microsite is a part of MVM College Rajkot only. So it is again linked with this particular website, or we can say it is, see, domain would be same. Majority, when you are going to apply the concept of microsite, which is part of your domain only, so generally microsite is connected with the website only. Now what happens, when you are going to apply the concept of microsite, it totally contains different content as well as layout, and you are able to see the color of this micro website, that is what? Green color, and other pages contains white color. Similarly, navigation structure means the way you come into the site as well as the way you are navigating through the pages which are connected with the website are totally different. So over here, this is the consistent design and navigation in each page, because these four pages are the part of this particular domain, but the color, that means design, navigation, and the way you are going to back on the pages are totally different. So that is the advantage of microsites, right? Because see, first advantage is what? You are having different content, you are having different design as well as navigation structure. So that is the first advantage. What is the second advantage? Say for example, currently my this website is not running properly. This is the master website, right? So master website module is not running properly. In such cases, you will have the advantage of this module, and in that case, this particular module becomes the master web page. So that is again the advantage of having microsites. So let us discuss now the points of microsites. There is a lot debate about microsites, and although we generally recommend that you do not burden yourself with the bother of dealing with the microsites and their SEO risk and disadvantages. See, there are lots of risk as well as disadvantages having a microsite in the structure. Why? Because see, when you are dealing with the microsite, at that time you need to focus on two things. Number one, the website, that is main URL, as well as you need to apply the SEO strategy inside microsites also. Now microsites are the combination of one or more pages, as we have discussed through this figure, whose task is to function as a separate entity for existing websites. See, I am going to move on the image portion because I want to explain this particular point. See, this particular website is a separate entity. It is part of this website only, but it behaves separately. No rules and regulation which has been applied in these pages can be applied over here. Why? Because this functions as a separate entity, but definitely it is a part of your main website. Now it can also be used as a main website when main existing site is offline. As I have told you that if any problem is there in the main website, at that time what happens, this micro website is running properly, so you can use it as a main website when the main existing website is a offline. Now it has its own domain name with its new content, design and navigation. You can take example of maps.google.com over here, because map contains totally new unique feature which has their own content, which contains its own design as well as navigation structure. Now we have taken the example of college site only. A college has its own site which is called mvmcollegerajkot.com. Now for an event in the college, it develops a separate site. Here the event site can have its own content, design and navigation. That means college is going to conduct one test, or college is going to uh, provide some events, arrange some events. So in that cases they are going to apply new module. They want to create one new site which contains totally different layout as well as navigation structure rather than the existing website. Now most of the microsites are available on the same server. As I have told you that microsites are the part of the domain server only, right? So don't use the concept of separate domain. It is very much difficult to create traffic on the separate server. But yes, if your page is a part of only the particular domain, in that case use the same server for creation of microsites. Now microsites may be placed as a new domain or as a subdomain. Microsites can also have their content from one or more websites. Microsite may contain its content from the one or more sites, more websites which is already running. You need to refer the image 1 as well as image 2, which represents the concept of microsites. This particular image we have already referred. As I have told you, this is the home page with which our other pages are connected, or this is the URL of our website through which other pages are linked. This is the microsite which is created for our particular website. The server for both the website are similar and it is linked together. Suppose this particular website is not presently running, in such cases this module becomes master module and you are able to see the layout this micro website contains are totally different than this particular website. The designing structure are totally different. This is the second module we have taken. You are able to see that this all the pages are connected with the home page or home URL through which you are able to access these pages. The navigation structure of this particular microsites are totally different, as well as you are able to see this 4 pages contains blue color, right? But this particular site is called microsite which represents the red color. So navigation structure, the layout of the website as well as design are totally different than the website. But yes, it is the part of main website, so it is connected with the main website because it is the module which has been working for the particular website. Now we are going to discuss the advantages and disadvantages, or microsites should be considered under the following conditions and when it should not be considered, right? Or when to avoid microsites. We are going to discuss 2 points, right? Number one, when to consider and when to avoid. So first of all, let us discuss when to consider, or in which conditions we can consider the concept of microsite. Number one, when you want to target a specific keywords, like if your business is related with the particular brands, or when you want to perform marketing on the particular products, at that time you are having the alternative of microsites. Similarly, domain reselling is there. Domain reselling is the advantage of microsite, right? When you are having a large number of domains and you are having a large website, at that time your website can be divided and you can divide your domain into the subfolders or subdomain. So this is the advantage of microsites when you are having a large business. In such cases you can use the concept of domain reselling. Domain reselling is nothing but you are going to divide your domain into different kinds of subfolders or different kinds of subdomain. Now for brand building purpose, when you want, if your business is related with the particular brand, or if your website sells the product of particular brand, at that time you can use the concept of microsite. Say for example your product is based on the clothing product, so you are having one uh, say for example you are having one domain name called pantaloon womanclothes.com, that is one domain name, and another domain name is what, pantaloon.com. So pantaloon.com is the domain name which is related with the particular brand. Similarly woman clothes are the product, right? So through that also you are able to create a traffic on the website. So we are going to divide our large domain into the subfolder or subdomain. Similarly, our business is related with the brand. Say for example in our case our business is related with the pantaloon product, so you can use the directly use the domain name as the name of your brand. So let us read out the points. When to target specific keywords. If we want to target specific terms like brands or product of the main site, then microsites are the best alternatives. Next is called domain reselling. This is the main advantage of microsites. If we have a large sites domain, then we can divide domain into different folders, subfolders or subdomain. And the third point is for brand building purpose. That means microsite can be used for branding the main site, as most of the microsite have links or are accessible through the main website. So these three are the points. In that case you need to consider the concept of microsite. Number one, when you want to target a specific keyword, when you want to use the concept of domain reselling, and the last is called when you want to, when your business is related with particular brand. In all the three cases you can consider the microsites. Now when to avoid the microsites. Number one, the most importance is given to root domain or main website. That means if your priority is there to create a traffic on the root domain or main website, when you want to focus on the main website, at that time you need to avoid the concept of microsites. Or if your business is in small in size, right, at that time no need to use the concept of microsite. Yes, if your business is large, in such case you can use the concept of microsites. Next is called link count splits. That means when you are going to apply the concept of microsites, at that time naturally the number of links are increased, right? So you need to distribute such kind of links of main websites at as well as of the microsites. So when you are going to split the link of your website, you will not get that much traffic on a particular website, or your traffic has been splitted on both the websites. Someone is referring in the main website and someone is going to refer the microsite, so your audience is diverted. And third is called more time and energy should be spent on the main website. As I have told you that you need to have you need to apply uh, good time, good energy as well as resources into the domain. Why? Because you are having multiple domain of your website. So it may be possible that when you are working with a multiple domain of your website, it can be degraded and your ranking of your website may be on the down. So when you want to be on the top at that time, try to avoid using the concept of microsites. Now let us read out the points. The first point is called most importance is given to root domain or main website. See, we are going to discuss the points which are related with the avoidance of microsites. In what cases you need to avoid using the concept of microsites, that point we are going to discuss. And the first point is most importance is given to the root domain and main website. Microsites are small in size as compared to the main website from which it is derived. As microsites are new, and also some of the content would be replicated from the main website. See, the microsites are a part of main website only, right? So replication means what? Majority of content you have taken from the main website. So replication means duplication, so your content will be naturally duplicated. And we have discussed lots of time in our previous video also, right, that when your content is duplicate, at that time you will not get that much traffic, or crawler are not going to crawl those type of websites. Now thus more priority would be given to the main website, as it is old, trustworthy and consistent. That means if your website running properly, and if your website is old, at that time trust has been created between the website and trust search engine or the users, right? So you need to constantly provide the data, and don't use microsites in that case. Links can count splits. That means as the number of links are increased with the development of microsites, so would distribute the links between the main website and microsites, it can lead to a splitting of link benefits that main website could have achieved. The last is called more time and energy should be spent on the main website. Having more attention, time and resources split among multiple domains, it can degrade the ranking of the main website. Creation of microsites should be avoided. So this is all about when to use the concept of microsites and when to avoid the concept of microsites. This is all about our today's session. In our today's session, we have completed the third topic of unit number 3, that is root domain, subdomain and microsites. In our next session, we are going to see optimization of domain names and URL. So, do refer the video. Thank you all.